Next time it's foggy out, you'll be like, oh man, it's like pea soup out here.
That's just okay. I don't want to get into it. I'm gonna get angry.
Well, what else
Okay, I'll
is
try and bring it
thick?
back.
What else is thick?
But why pea? Like, just
Justin's
pea
trying to
soup?
think. Justin's trying to think of thick things.
Yeah, you
a good
might as well
point.
say you're just looking. It's like looking through a puddle of cum. Like it's just like it's way more. It's just way more
Visceral.
visually. Like it makes
Can
sense than pea
can we
soup.
just can you just clip that, like those 5 words to be the entrance for this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say it's like looking through a puddle of cum, and just like that's it, and it doesn't come back up in the episode. Just
And then the music
Yeah,
kicks
yeah.
in. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's a good point, Shao. It is like that.
yeah.
That's a good point.
How about this friggin' weather we've been having here? I just want to talk about it for a minute, because every time I
like,
talk
what
to
a
anybody
start.
else in Canada, it's like minus 25, blizzard here, blizzard there, minus 30. I'm like, oh yeah. The rest of Canada sucks in the winter.
Yeah, that's true. But for those of you who don't know, we are living in an area where it's incredibly foggy, Silent Hill-esque. There were nights.
Dude, yeah.
There were nights I couldn't even see maybe 50 meters ahead of me or on the other side on the highway, which was a little bit sketch. But it's been intense, the fog.
Dude, so I leave for work at about 5:55 in the morning, 6
Okay.
o'clock. Not as early as Hayden. And so I don't know what it's like when you're that far away from the water, Hayden. But when
Yeah.
I'm leaving at that time, dude, it's terrifyingly foggy.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot see.
Yeah. What is it like in your region?
On this side of the
Hayden?
border. Where we are in the mountain, not that it's the biggest mountain, but it's usually clear up here. But no joke, as soon as I get to the end of the road and start going down towards the river, because the highway runs pretty close to the river, it's like pea soup, cannot see. Like, I've been driving into Mission and I'm like, where is this town?
Can we find another analogy?
It's
Is that
like
a thing?
Is this like a
Is that a
Bundy
saying?
thing? Is this a Bundy thing? It's like,
look
how you
it
say
up. Okay, get on this. Get the brain trust on this. Pea soup. I'm pretty sure it's a British expression because pea soup it's pea soup. It's thick. It's green. What's an expression? I don't know. You Canadians
Clear
don't
as
really-
mud. We like to say that here.
Yeah,
Clear as mud.
Okay.
but that's more of an understanding thing, isn't it? Oh, okay. Shao's got an
That
answer for
is.
us.
It is, yeah.
Okay, when I type in pea soup, number 1 is a puree or soup made of cooked dried peas. Number 2, in brackets, informal, dense fog.
There you
Mm.
go.
Hayden is onto something.
I'm onto something. When you said that,
Do you
it just
think he's
reminded
sitting
me
here
of.
week to week, Shao, like just thinking of the next
I actually
thing
think
or
so.
thing he's gonna drop? Just to
ex-
sort of get our
It's like a
heads to
challenge.
crank
It's
a
like a
bit?
self-challenge. You know how some people in the sports world or whatever, they do entertainment and they do interviews rather, and then their buddy like you have to sneak in this word in the interview just for fun. I think
Yeah.
Hayden's
Meow.
doing that.
Do you think it's as Hayden? Let me ask you a serious question here.
Please.
Listen, meow.
What was your New Year's resolution?
I didn't have one. I didn't make one because
Okay.
that's
I was
a
just
good way to
checking to
set
see if
yourself
that
up
was it.
for failure. Yeah, my New Year's resolution: be more of a thesaurus for Shao and Justin.
Yeah.
Phrase
Well, it's working.
thesaurus. Phrase thesaurus, not even just singular words. But yeah,
For Thoris?
a thesaurus.
Oh, I'm sorry, we derailed your
We derailed,
pea
yeah.
soup.
So it's
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Pea
back a
soup.
little bit, and your pea soup sounded like cheap suit. Cheap suit.
Rush Hour reference, nice. Oh, yeah, keep going, please.
But yes, I've been driving into Mission, and you cannot see the lights of Mission until you're. So I'm like, where the heck is the next town? Like, it's like driving through nothing, like a loading screen in an old video game where you just kind of walk into the nothing, lets it
yeah.
load up, and then boom, your next phrase, there you are. So it has been rather thick, but then of course it's cleared up to these beautiful days.
Yeah, it's just exactly.
Would you say like
I almost
if you have to drive to Mission really early in the morning, would you say it's driving to Mission is impossible?
Okay, that was no. You Mr. Stretch over there. Come on. Don't.
Rogue Nation
not
there
be
going
proud
out
of
on
that,
his
Shao.
own.
Shao, no. Uh, I, I, I felt like a tourist in my hometown yesterday because, so Kate's been, I don't know if you guys know this. I got fucking hit in like December 11th, and we've been with one vehicle since then. And so she's been driving me in the mornings, and then I train at home and we'll train it and start walking home, and then she picks me up because she's got to drop the girls off in Richmond and she's got to be in Richmond at 4. So, and I'm off at 3:30. Anyways, so I'm walking from like Olympic Village to Terminal train station, and along the seawall there, when you go by Science World, like if you look past False Creek, it's BC Place, right? And you're looking into downtown, beautiful. And so I'm walking there, and it was so foggy, you could not see BC Place across the water. Like you could barely see, I don't know, 20 meters in front of you across False Creek, like of water. But because BC Place is so big and the fog sits so low, you could see, you know, like the almost like crown on the top of BC Place. It's got all those little crowns up. You could see those only poking out of the fog. I was like, holy shit. And you couldn't see any other towers, like nothing else downtown. So it just looked like fog across the water with these things up. And I was so close to taking a picture because of how cool it looked, but I was also judging myself. I was like, Justin, you fucking live here, bro. You don't need a picture. You know what I mean? Like, this is where you live. You know, I felt so weird about taking a picture.
So you didn't, right?
No, I didn't.
And now you have nothing to show us. It's just
and you know what?
Story.
Empty lies.
A fable.
I thought of that as I was telling this. I was like, well, if I would have taken a picture, I could have showed these guys. But you know what? Screw you guys. If you want to experience that, then that's personal for me and every other person that walked by there that day. That was our experience.
How often have you've never seen that though? You've never seen that. And how often do you think in the future you'll see that in that time of day, location? You know what I mean?
Shao, honestly, I would say it was a once in a lifetime experience. I don't think anybody will ever experience that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if I were to be hiking the Chief and I saw Bigfoot, and I'm like, I'm from here. I don't fucking need to do that.
I don't need to take a picture. I'll remember this.
No.
And everyone will believe it. Everyone will believe it.
Listen, if you came to me in honesty, because I trust you, and you fucking told me that you saw Bigfoot, and you were able to get through it, and I was able to ask you questions, and you didn't crack a fucking smile once, I would trust you. But as soon as
I
started to see like like that, like the little
like
the edges of the mouth just start to curl a bit, then I know you're caught.
Fair. Yeah, I've always thought about those movies where, you know, little kids see something that's extraordinary and no one believes them. What would I say, or what would I do in that situation to try to convince them? Because when you go into the room, well, I just saw blah, 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 and you're all hysterical. People are like, what the no, okay, whatever. You didn't see a fucking unicorn or whatever. But it's just so out of this world that it's gonna, in those situations, you know, it's gonna be a thing where not a lot of people will believe you. So what can you really do or say to, you know?
Yeah, it's like a kid. I would almost, you know, I would, to be honest, not probably trust a kid, but
yeah.
My sister, and I even maybe have mentioned this on the podcast before. We were chatting. We were visiting her last summer and sitting around the fire, and she was talking about having seen my brother. My brother's dead, and not living. And she explained it to me, and she talked to me, and we had like a very open conversation about it. And my sister's not like she wouldn't make that up. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that she had that experience, but I don't believe that that experience is possible. You know what I mean? So it led to this like kind of conversation about that, like how, like, does that make sense? Like,
Well, sometimes
where
you hear a lot of times where people say your mind sees what it wants to see. So,
yeah, or maybe you're sleeping. It's almost like
Yeah.
lucid dreaming or something like that, and it's because it's like I believe her when she tells me this, but I'm like, yeah, man, like, but that's impossible.
Right. A lot of times you kind of remember what a powerful thing the mind can be and
Yeah,
what it can generate in your perspective. And yeah, so I think about that too sometimes when people say, oh, I saw so and so. I'm like, that, like exactly what you said, that's impossible. And maybe something reminded of that person that day or a couple days ago, and it manifested something in your head. And yeah, it's so whenever people say they saw, a religious figure floating in front of them or whatever on toast, like the Jesus on the toast or whatever. Yeah, you can kind of see like blotches to some people, but then once people say it's Jesus's face, and then you kind of turn it a little bit, and like you manipulate a little bit, squint a little bit.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Have you
Something
seen
like that.
Have you seen the one of the hamburger? It's like a picture of a hamburger, like a big old hamburger, and as soon as you start squinting your eyes, it's Steve Harvey. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
It's so good, bro. It's so good. You're just like, what? How is this possible?
yeah.
It's like such a clear image. See, I didn't realize that that was Jesus people saw on the toast. I thought that was Hayden.
See, that's where you come into it and you be like, I don't know, that doesn't look like. Stick with the theme. It doesn't look like Jesus. It looks like my buddy Hayden.
My buddy Hayden.
That's what you gotta ask them. Is like, did you eat any cheese today? Like, you ever heard? You not heard that one? Don't eat too much cheese.
I mean,
you can't do two in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of
two in
people
one night.
asking if people have eaten too much cheese before. Yes, that's a thing, but
'Cause
not
that
in the
makes-
context.
Really? Because too much cheese before you go to bed. At least.
I like how you're surprised by this. Really?
Really?
You guys have never heard of this?
You've heard of eating too much cheese and it backs you up, but have you heard of eating too much cheese and it makes you have very, very strange dreams?
You see Jesus.
You see Jesus.
Or some might say, Jesus.
Cheese.
Huh?
There you go,
Gosh,
Nick. He's
baby.
on the board. Okay, so
I'm
we've got
on
an impossible mission and a Jesus. What's next?
And a pea soup.
And a
a
pea
pea
soup.
But pea soup was a real one. Wasn't a bad pun or a great pun.
It's not even a pun. But,
Exactly. It's a proper saying.
Yeah, just a weird saying. Before we dive into
Boulder Dash.
no, we're doing that next week. Before we dive into
Hey.
That'd be
Fallout,
fun, actually.
there is something I wanted to ask you guys, which is, I was wondering if you guys have ever lied in a resume or a job interview. I think a lot of people do. It's kind of, I was almost even taught that, to exaggerate a little bit on your resume. But has that ever kind of come back to bite you in the ass or anything?
I can
No.
tell you that from, I was told, so after film school, after I moved out here, and when we graduated, I needed a job while I was trying to get my foot in the door acting, but one that could be lenient, that I could take time off if I needed, or come and go, that sort of thing. And everybody, like the kind of cliche is that actors were servers or bartenders. They worked in that sort of service industry because you could get people to cover your shifts, and hours aren't usually during the day. So you can audition. Anyways, but I had no experience in that. I came from a trades background, right? And so it was like I couldn't get a job in it because I had zero experience. And people were telling me just lie, just put that you have. Like I couldn't, man. I couldn't do it. I can't. Not on a resume. So, but then, as you know, Shao, for acting resumes, they're different than like a other work resume. And I did lie on that. I for specialty skills, you can put things down, and I definitely put things down that I would say I could do, but I'm certainly not like it's not a specialty skill. No, it's more like I could.
Like you've done it.
I've done this. Yeah. But never got called out on any of that. Actually, that just reminded me of something. But to stay on this track, I put that my height was 5'11", and never got called out on it until one time. And it's funny because I don't know if I honestly thought I was that. I don't think I did. Like, I think I was hopeful I did, but anyways, but I knew like it should be 5'10" on there, and I'd thought about changing it back on my resume for so long, and I just hadn't. I just didn't. I just kept it. I was like, whatever. Like, do they pay attention to that? And then one audition, I was in there and I was slating. I might not even been slating, but it was just standing in front, and the director, producer, and casting director were there. And one of them was looking at it and looked at the resume and said, "How tall are you?" Or it either said, "How tall are you?" or "You're 5'11". And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Are you?" And I said, "With shoes." He's like, and he's just so unimpressed, not like a little like how it was like, that's what everybody says. I was just like, but just so I was like, oh, this is off to a good start.
Oh God.
With some lifts on 5'11".
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's the only time where it's really bit me, but I think it could have. I forget what show it was for, and it was I had gotten narrowed down. It was between me and somebody else, and it was actually for like either recurring or series character. But he drives a motorcycle, and I'd put on my specialty skills, like because I've driven dirt bikes before,
Oh yeah.
I wasn't gonna put on there that I've crashed every single time I've been on a dirt bike, but and so my agent called me and he asked me one thing and I gave him an answer. It's like, okay, a little bit of time goes by, he called me back again. He's like, hey, like so can you ride a motorcycle? And is my agent, right? So I could be a little more honest. I was like, yes, I'm confident I could. I've ridden dirt bikes before. It's been a while. I might need a refresher on like shifting. He's like, okay. And then I didn't get it. I never heard back after that. But I was thinking, man, I could have pulled it off.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, motorcycle. That's the tricky one. I mean, I've done mopeds. But
it's like, what kind of
no
motorcycle?
Gears. So I could put that on mine if I ever did one.
And say you Harley'd around Hawaii.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Not,
was that 18
I think,
years ago on your 30th birthday?
Not quite 18 years. 10 years ago.
Noise. This is fun.
What about you, Hayden?
Yeah.
Hayden's whole resume is a lie, probably.
I know.
It's all
full
a lie.
Analogies.
Because I'm from Australia. We're not even a real country, right? So.
Why? Just because some people landed there on a boat?
You've not heard that stupid tale where everyone thinks that Australia is a made-up place and everyone that says they're from Australia is an actor? You not heard that?
Nope. You're
good,
full of them
because
today.
you're intelligent. I'm pretty sure it's from the southern neighbors. They're like, Australia isn't a real place. It's like flat earthers, It's dumb. I'm like, yeah, there's
Wait, what?
What? The world is round? You mean the horizon is? I can see everything if I just look hard enough.
I love there's a video, sorry Hayden, there's a video on social media where people try to disprove or prove that the world is flat, but by doing so during their experiment they prove that it isn't flat. Have you guys seen that one?
Then they have a
Oh,
existential
that's so
crisis.
good. That's so good.
No, they don't. Actually, one of my favorite parts of that show was because they did 2 tests, Hayden. They did one, and it proved the Earth wasn't flat. So they're like, okay, no, like, and then they come up with this other idea, and it's a smart idea actually with a laser, but again, prove the Earth's not flat, but then didn't take the answer. And so in the documentary, they follow this flat earther crew, but they also like interview scientists and astronauts and people like that. And this one scientist, when the documentarian told him what they did, he's like, what, really? He's like, oh, he's like, that's actually really smart. Like, these people would make great scientists because like the ideas, but he said you can't, but in science, obviously, you can go in with a hypothesis, but if you're proven wrong, then you have to come up with another hypothesis. You can't just be like, no, the test's wrong. The test's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was actually funny how the scientist was complimenting them about how like their ideas are actually really good.
Right. Oh, that's so
Good old scientists.
heartbreaking.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, I've only ever done hospitality work since day dot after at university, so like after the police stuff. So
Justin, it's okay, just let one slide. I don't know.
okay, also you haven't heard day dot. Okay, Justin, what does day dot mean to you? You're exemplifying it right now with that screen.
Well, I'm gonna say like since the beginning.
Yeah,
Since the day you're born. Yeah.
there you go. Look that
I mean,
one
that'd
up.
be my guess.
That's a very good guess. Day dot, the beginning of existence. Shah's going to look it up. Since the beginning of me having to need a resume after the police force, it was always hospitality work, and you do what Lisa Simpson did to Marge's resume. You know, instead of it just being basic skills, you extrapolate what you've written down and make it sound fancy, make yourself more important than you really are. It's like, oh, I've worked bar one time. All of a sudden, you're a mixologist, you know. Like you said, I know how to ride motorbikes. Or like, I served coffee to a function one time, so I'm a barista. You know, I've got coffee making skills. Do not have coffee making skills.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a funny style. They gave us a 5-minute. When I worked for a hotel, they gave us a 5-minute rundown on how to use this massive cappuccino maker, and expected us to run this cafe for 1,000 guests like we were pros. I'm like, this is not gonna.
You got the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'm like all of these people here are like college students and university students. We got no idea what we're doing. Just give us the big urns, and we'll give them straight black coffee with milk or sugar.
Drip coffee, yeah.
Yeah, drip coffee,
Yeah,
not this like.
that.
Anyway, so yeah, like I've done that sort of stuff, but I've never flat out lied with a skill that I've had, because I haven't had it. So
You're too good of a person. You're too good of a
Yeah.
person. I recently did a at-home taped audition for something called Project Ice Cream. I don't know what brand or anything, and the audition was short. It was just an improv thing, no lines. It's two scenes, and one of them required you to eat ice cream. But as I don't know, you may know, I'm highly allergic to lactose. I'm very, very intolerant of it. And even when you're filling out the forms, it does say actor will have to consume dairy and ice cream, and I think it even said regret if you are lactose intolerant. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna just say I can't do it just because I'm
You're like,
lactose
I do
intolerant.
regret that I'm lactose intolerant. Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a
I
high
do
regret
regret
that.
that. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, I misunderstood the sentence.
You're like, we've got a
But
window here. We've got a window. I'll have the sample on camera, but I've got 10
If
minutes
you
to do
book it, when
retakes.
you book it, do just take like 2 Imodium before you go. That'll fucking block you solid.
right. Well, the thing is, that was
Depends.
maybe 4 days ago, 3 days ago that I taped it, and I thought, oh, whatever. Like, it kind of felt kind of weird doing the scene, and I wasn't really in it, and didn't think much of it. And then I get a call back today, which is for tomorrow, and then the instructions it says instructions for talent. Please bring a bowl and spoon,
Your
which
own
means
bowl and
tomorrow.
spoon?
Yeah, which means tomorrow I'm gonna have to go in there and
Oh, eat some ice cream, bro.
ice cream at 9:30 in the morning. And
Oh,
That's your day
I
off.
do have lactate. I'm taking lactate. I don't know really how much it helps, to be completely honest, but I'm just in my mind already because it can hit really fast depending on the milk fat content on the product. It can hit within a minute. Milkshakes in particular or whatever, right? It can fuck me up real good. So I just have all these horrible scenarios in my head for tomorrow's audition.
you definitely regret it now.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No, honestly, take some Imodium. Like, you might not shit till like this time Friday, but like that's I've had to live off that stuff before because
You say you take two or one? I do have Modium.
I would always like if I was really nervous about something, I would take 2, and it's probably too much, especially if you don't already have it. Because sometimes I'd take it as like preventative, because I'm like, I know what I'm going out to do, and I know what I'm gonna have, and I know I'm gonna have issues.
Right.
So I'd preemptively do it, and two's like two will for sure get the job done. I was always nervous one wouldn't, so I just do 2. But I've gone out on 1 before. It doesn't buy you as much time. Like 2 will for sure do it.
Right. Well, I just don't want to start sweating in the middle of an audition and then I
Yeah,
don't know.
like, oh, that was amazing. Okay, don't leave. We're gonna
Yeah.
screen
We're gonna
test you with
discuss.
some other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Don't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
we're gonna bring you back in.
Share some ice
Yeah.
cream with some other people. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Wow,
know.
I gotta tell you, I cannot wait to talk to you next week.
Oh
Like,
God.
I'm excited.
Well, I thought I mean, there could be a chance that this is it might be, maybe not. Maybe it's too close to the date. But I thought, because I've been getting a lot of commercial auditions lately, and I thought it could be because of the Super Bowl. But I feel like it's a little bit too crunch timey for them to start shooting commercials for Super Bowl, end of January. But
Yeah,
who
right.
knows?
Quick turnaround, if it was.
So
Yeah.
I was very on and off with dairy for a while, and it was when my stomach was really going through issues, and so I had to cut that out. And like, I'd still have it, but in certain situations, right?
Mhm.
And I remember it was my 30th birthday, and Kate, I wake up and she gives me, I have ice cream cake for breakfast, like a big bowl of ice cream cake. I was like, oh, this is amazing, babe. You're the
Oh, man.
best. She's like, all right, I got a surprise for you. I was like, okay. Like, she's like, we're going somewhere. Like, get dressed. I was like, okay. Like, hopped in the car. She's driving me out, and I'm aware that I've just eaten a bowl of ice cream cake. I'm like, I don't know where we're going or what we're doing. It's still early, and we start driving out to Abbotsford, which is a ways away.
Oh, boy.
And I thought for some reason, like, my buddy Russ flew in for my 30th, and we were going to and he flew into the Abbotsford Regional Airport instead of the Vancouver Airport. And then so we're going that way, and then I see we start turning off before. And then I'm noticing as we're going kind of out into the middle of nowhere and out into the middle of nowhere, I see like something skydiving. And we roll up to the skydiving place. And by this point, like my stomach is doing backflips, dude. And she's like, surprise, like I know you love skydiving, like I wanted to surprise you. And I was like, babe, like you just fed me a bowl of ice cream. Like I am not getting a plane. I'm parachuting out. Are you kidding me? Like that sudden like urge, had shit everywhere. So we hung around for a bit, and I was able to like, you know, have a couple shits at the skydiving place, and finally it was like after a while felt good enough. I was like, all right, let's do this thing, and then we went. But well, I went.
Oh man,
it was just like I was like, what were you thinking?
can you imagine that place, the
about it.
skydiving place, the toilets out of order or something, and you just
Oh,
had to
well.
you just had to just jump anyways, and then people in the ground will just start seeing literal shit fall out from the sky. Speaking of
Yeah.
fallout,
Oh, nice, Shao.
Redemption.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I had to. Anyways, no. Speaking of Fallout, ladies and gentlemen, today we are discussing season 2, episode 5, and to me, I'm gonna go right into it. I thought this episode was so far the best of the season for me. I like how you kind of assume that this is around the time when all the stories and all the people start to converge a little bit more. So yeah, that's what we are discussing today. Any surprises for you guys? I for one, I guess this is not a huge surprise, but I didn't think that. I knew that Ghoul and Lucy are gonna have to somehow part ways sooner or later, because the Ghoul's kind of objective is to keep her around, to use her as a bargaining chip, bartering, bargaining. Uh-oh. And yeah, and how that ended with him getting fucking impaled.
Yeah.
I don't know
I was
how
like,
he's gonna
how's
get
he gonna
out
get
of
out of this one? He's gonna
I
need
know.
4 guys to lift him up.
Yeah. Yeah, and then at the end you also see big old Hank coming to get loose.
Yeah, and I think it was a good one as far as, I mean, we didn't see anything of Maximus and Tidius.
Thaddeus.
We'll go with the first one.
Tidius.
Tidius.
After they did the, what did they do?
Baby Ghoul.
Baby Ghoul. They did the Boon Day with the Cold Fusion.
Oh yeah, the Bundy, the Bundy, the Boon
The
Day.
Bundy.
Were you trying to like liven that up? The Boon Day.
You forgot what you talked about last week. Don't worry.
That was so last week.
So last week.
I
remember.
Excuse me. But it did kind of answer a big question that we had. Well, 2 really. Like, who is Robert House? We finally see him, and it actually turns out to be the guy that we've seen all along. It was just somebody else that was pretending to be Robert House, and that guy, Robert House is pretending to be somebody else. Anyways, so we finally get revealed to him, and turns out he's a freaking nut job, and we get all sorts of like crazy information about him that I was like, okay. Like when he starts talking about how many years till the end of the world, I was like, okay, he said 2050, 60, 20. He gave the birth date of the Ghoul's daughter in the year 2056, I think it was. And then according to his calculations, but then he said, since he was introduced, it's bumped back a month, and he doesn't know why. And I'm like, okay, how do these dates and numbers relate to where we are now? Because it's been a couple hundred years. So it'd be later. Anyway, so I was trying to figure that out. But then more importantly, we finally are revealed what the chip is. Because remember, like, what is this device that they're trying to do that keeps exploding people's heads? and it finally works on the crazy fucking like
The snake oil
gypsy,
guy.
yeah, medicine man. And it's all about like wiping memory. It's interesting because I like, is it about wiping memory and then kind of reprogramming them, or is it about like if you can wipe the memory, you can control it? Maybe he was just offering to wipe his memory. Anyways, it the end result is to lead to some form of complete control over somebody. Because I thought, why are you? At first, I thought, why would you just want to wipe everybody's memory? Like, what does that gain you if all of a sudden nobody remembers anything?
Yeah,
And I guess it would be that you get to create the narrative, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like they're being used on to create dummies or kind of like shells of a human. They can control them, and so they don't. If they still have their memories, then maybe they'll you know rebel or whatever. Just
wouldn't you
somehow.
eventually like develop critical thinking anyways? But that might be looking too deep, right?
Right.
So we kind of get we find that out now, and then of course, yeah, we see the dad and Lucy kind of get reunited there. So yeah, I felt like it had a lot of good stuff, and we're learning, and then also we're learning about more about phase 2, because it's like, what's this phase 2 that the Vault 31 people were talking about? And then they get to the ghoul's wife's office. And sorry, I'm just trying to pull up my notes here because I wrote it down. PEV was it? Which they thought
FEV.
stood for
FEV.
FEV,
Like
which they thought
forced
stood for
evolution?
something. Yeah, and then they thought it was something else. Like the guy referred to it as something else when they were searching that phrase in the database. It said nothing came up, but related things were F.E.V. So when he went to that, he found out that actually stood for, which was in their database, forced evolutionary virus. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So, like, did they nuke Earth? And then one of their strategies, because all the vaults had different strategies to how they thought life, how you could survive an apocalypse and life after that, building society, which of these billionaires would come up with the best idea to rebuild society? Was hers this forced evolutionary virus? And did that then lead to what's created what we know as the ghouls today, which is ultimately her husband? Like, holy fuck, like how deep does this go? You know, like I really started to like really kind of question some good topics. Like with the storylines, they've like questions that they've answered and storylines that they've opened up. And because, you know, you always wonder how a show is going to continue on, or what new thing's going to come that gets me as an audience like excited about it, but also like curious about it, like thinking about it, asking questions. Because, you know, it's like the Book of Boba Fett, for example. I was really excited when that came out because I liked Mando, but it just felt like the same thing. It felt like, oh, okay, here's my overall mission. I got to do this. Okay, and then I go to do that. Before I do that, I got to do this. And then they go somewhere, and it's like, oh, but before you do that, you got to do this, and they got to go somewhere. It's like, oh, but you got that now. But to get that, you actually have to do this. But to do that, you had to make an alliance with somebody and do that, and then they'll help. And it just felt like, okay, they, you know, it was just like more like quest driven. And I know that this and a lot of shows are like that, but I feel like this show's done a very good job of like keeping me curious and keeping me wondering about what the heck is happening. Like the Deathclaw things or Demon Claw things. I thought that was gonna be a bigger thing because at first I was like, oh shit, you know, last episode ended with it appearing and, you know, Lucy being like, okie dokie. And then this episode started with Lucy being like, okie dokie. And then all of a sudden, like, more and more demon claws appeared. And I was like, holy shit, like there's 3 of them. Like, how are they going to get out of this? And then I felt like they did so fast. And I was like, oh, like that didn't even really feel threatening. but then it went into more story. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna spend 10 minutes on them escaping these and that. Like the point was to show that they're here, that they exist, they're scary, and I'm sure they'll come back. But then it was like it moved on, and then we got to see kind of how their interpretation of Vegas is like post-apocalyptic.
On that, I was actually quite curious that you were down with all of the exposition that Robert House was giving, Justin, because normally you're not a, we were led to believe that this was like not the ultimate bad dude, but one of the big bad dudes that was potentially the cause of the fallout, which we learned that he wasn't. Side note on that, the way
But
that they...
Yeah, I guess do we believe that?
Well, that's what I was just going to add. Like, the way he was talking to the ghoul, and the way that they cut it, it almost seemed like maybe it was him somehow. To my eyes, like when I was watching, I was like, because he got so drunk after that meeting with him, it was like, and I was like, did he have a hand in the downfall of society? Like, that would be a very, very, like, out of nowhere change in the plot if you did actually have a hand in why it happened when he thought that he was there trying to stop it. But anyway, I did like the fact that House was saying that he had the technology during the War of Anchorage and he saw the Deathclaw. So he... in effect, was saying that there is another dude, even higher, another bad dude that was that many years ahead of everyone, and he was already developing. Someone has created these creatures in an attempt to
That would have been in the 60s, right?
Yeah, and now it's 200 years, and they're still evolutionarily there, if that's a word. They are there. But I was like, oh, so there's going to be I'm going to put money on it. Bold prediction that there will be another person introduced probably next season that had their finger in the pie on what's going to be. I don't know why they would have done that. I don't have that part formulated in my brain as to why they would create these beasts before the nuclear
Forced
fallout.
evolutionary virus.
Yeah. Are they actually humans?
Maybe that was like the early stages of the developing the virus.
Yeah, way before. So see, that would be all kinds. You could tell. Like, I'm gonna jump around here a bit. You could tell that the ghoul was. He was okay. You got glimpses of his humanity throughout this season, like when he was talking with the dog and he was saying it's just nice to talk to someone. Yeah, and then and even though it was a dog can't talk back. And then he develops this relationship with Lucy, and you see that, and they even mention it in this episode that they were actually becoming friendly with one another to the point of each needing each other. But you could tell, and this was very good acting from, what's his name? Walton Goggin. With all that heavy prosthetic makeup on, and yet it's what I've always said. Yeah. It's in the eyes. It's in the eyes that tell the true story. And you could tell he was breaking. He was breaking out of his, his cowboy bounty hunter survival character. And he knew that he did wrong by Lucy, and then of course he goes and gets impaled because of her. So that would be a slap in his face on multiple levels. But I lost track of where I was going with that. But it was,
I can jump in.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah. While you gather your thoughts. Because I just ragged a lot in previous episodes where I hated how Lucy was always thought she could do it without the ghoul and would leave him or shoot him or you know what I mean, whatever it was. This was like the one time, and it's funny, after I was just bitching about it for like 2 straight episodes, where I was actually happy when she did that because I wasn't ready for Lucy and the ghoul to part ways. I think a lot of that has to do with watching them over this season and a half, like develop this friendship, and like you just said, Hayden and Shao, and they alluded to in the show, is there's this kinship almost, and it's been really fun to watch. And I didn't like that the ghoul gave her up. I thought, you know, because the guy that was being had his memory wiped and was being, you know, controlled, or new narratives given to him, was that the ghoul was to bring Lucy home, and then Lucy's dad wouldn't kill the ghoul's wife and child, who he has at the cryogenic lab or whatever. And the ghoul said, like, I brought you here as a bargaining chip, and this is the bargain. And I was like, damn, like, I don't want that. Like, I kept waiting for him to do something. Like, you know, the ghoul's always got a plan. It's always felt like he's always has a way out of whatever situation they've gotten into. And then he shot her with the tranquilizer, and I was like, I don't know, a little bit. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for him to take her home, and then she gets up and fucking punches him with that power charged fist thing out the window. And I was like, fucking rights, Lucy. Like,
yeah.
So it was like weird how it just had that complete shift over the course of an episode.
Yeah, that ending did shock me a little bit, because I guess in my mind, I just thought that he had another plan, but didn't tell Lucy, you know, to try to like make it seem like he'll give her up, give her up. And then immediately, you know, maybe not immediately, but maybe in the next episode, he actually, you know, will go to figure something out to save her. But then, yeah, when she fucking super punched him off the window, I was like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like how's this relationship gonna like mend, or will it mend? But
I think too, for me, it was like, I actually had written it down, because when she went to that shop earlier in the episode and she killed the guy, I picked up my phone and I wrote down, like, fucking rights, Lucy finally shoots to kill. Like, I was excited, because that was one of my biggest problems, is she tries to talk her way out of it or be nice, and this time she didn't. Like, the guy was reaching for a gun and she didn't think twice, and she pulled it up and shot him.
But then, like, I don't think she meant to kill him, though.
She didn't, and you kind of find that out after, when she goes to talk to him and realizes he's dead. But, like, it's no hesitation. She just, whether she meant to or not, you know, like, she's evolving to survive in the Badlands on her own, and she's not afraid of anything. And so when there was that moment where that guy came in and she's with the ghoul and she's gonna be bargained off, because the guy says, you know, like, your father's here and he's like in a bunker or whatever, a safe bunker, blah blah blah. And she was just like, take us to him right now, or whatever she said, you know, like, that drive and passion has never died in her, but now it's mixed with this, like, Badlands version of Lucy. So even though they've split up now that she's punched the ghoul out, and, you know, the final scene you sort of see is her dad with her as she's, you know, being tranked and fading off. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in this, like, what they do further in the season now that he's going to have her. Because I have a feeling, like, is Lucy going to free the wife and kid for the ghoul? Is, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's going to be in the same facility. You know, the ghoul's not just going to be like, okay, well, my job's done.
Yeah. Do you guys think that, because I think a lot of the things that Lucy's doing now that wasn't very much like her from before, yeah, it could be part of the, you know, her arc or whatever, but I think also there's still a chunk of her that's still doing this because she needs drugs, meaning that I she needs the drugs and wants the drugs, and she's coming down to the point where she's stealing stuff, right? Which I don't think she would have done maybe at the beginning, but because she's kind of one, they jacked up all the prices and all that stuff, and then she's kind of jonesing for some good old, I don't know, drugs that she's, you know, prepared to go into a shop like through the back door and steal stuff and and shoot people. Well, that part of my question doesn't really matter. I was just kind of curious as to moving forward, are they still going to have that be a part of her struggle? You know, the next episode, is it still going to be like, I need, you know,
I guess
drugs
she'd
or
be
something
coming
like that?
down off of them, right? Because she had that massive vomiting scene in this episode where it was just like looked like a fire hose, and
Right.
she instantly goes to Google and like, all right, I'm done with drugs. I'm not doing drugs
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if that was a part of her coming off of it or
But that's what
no, because it was right after she did the hit. Remember, she like was walking, then she did the inhale,
which
and
was
then
the
it was, like,
medicine.
instantly.
Because that's why the
So
ghoul
that's
sent
just
her to there to get that specific. That's that was like a rehab drug or whatever.
So that's just
yeah.
like fully like one time. I guess we don't really know, right? I'm guessing
Yeah,
it
the
is.
system.
I'm guessing it is just like the one-time thing, and they probably won't bring that back later on the thing. That's just her drug phase. It's one and done kind of thing.
Drug phase, one and done. Do you think that the dad is going to try and put the chip on Lucy? Obviously, I don't think right away, but you know, if she's not going to go along with them, do you think he will do it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because the
It
brother,
depends.
they played a bit with the brother now too. Like, is the brother going to meet up with them too, or
Did he
I guess-
survive?
The brother's
he-
a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, that's
Ugh.
right. He got strangled.
But he did exhale afterwards, so I think he's still alive.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a feeling that his squeeze is going to come in and revive him.
But yeah, you think he'll use the chip on Lucy?
I think it'll be
Do
like
you
a
think
James.
he would? Okay, not will for the show. Let's say we're not going to guess to go show. Do you think, knowing the characters like we do now, do you think he would do it?
Yes.
Yeah, he's kind of an evil character. I just don't know how. Yeah, I don't know what.
I feel like it
really
would be like
benefit.
some kind of James Bond sort of scenario with Goldfinger would, you know, strapped on a table, attempting to put the chip on his daughter, and then the ghoul will show up and save the day at the last minute, something like that.
What if he gets the chip on the ghoul?
Ah, it depends.
I can see
That
one
would
of
be a
them-
weapon.
Yeah, one of them will definitely get the chip, and then the other will probably save that. The other, not the chippy. I mean, I can see that happening, but
I could see him going to do the chip. Okay, playing out both scenarios.
Yeah,
I feel like it would be a chip on Lucy if like she's not going to go along with it, but there's obviously a grander plan we don't fully know yet. And because we know that they're going to start doing experiments in Vault 33. We found that out through the brother and the people he thawed. So I would say if it was Lucy, it'd probably be put on her to go back and be in Vault 33 because we know that he already wanted her there. That's where he wanted the ghoul to take her as part of the deal. And so she would go back with the chip, and then they would start chipping people there. And that would be where the next level of experimenting would go into the vault.
See, I wonder if
it
the
was to be
chips.
the ghoul, or go. Sorry.
No, I was just going to add in quick. I wonder if the chips go hand in hand with the forced evolutionary thing. It's like you needed to be chipped before you can be juiced up to change your. Now that I've said it out loud, it probably wouldn't work at all. Because if a forced evolution thing is a change to your DNA structure, that's got nothing to do with like chip.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's somehow like a preventative thing. If you have the chip, then it bypasses whatever sort of virus or I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
you
feel
don't even remember viruses are real, so therefore they're not. So you can't be affected by it.
that's right. I think it probably has
Power of the
something to do with one or another, but I don't think it works symbiotically. You know what I mean? I don't think you need one for the other, but it has to have something to do with it. Um, but yeah, you know, Justin, it's funny because when you mentioned that this episode didn't have Maximus and whatever you call him, Titius, I didn't even include in that. I completely forgot about that because this episode was just, oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was still a really good episode, you know?
Yeah.
Like I noticed it, but it wasn't something like I didn't feel like the episode was lacking and they could have used it. They put their focus on, you know, sort of the main storyline.
And remind me again, are there 7 episodes this season? Do you know?
There
Or
are 8.
I don't know.
8? Okay. 8. Okay.
There's still 3 more for us to 3 more hours.
Yeah, so obviously the new episode
cram
came
in.
today. We record Wednesdays. So we have not seen episode 6. By the time this comes out, episode 6 will, of course, be out. But so if a lot of this stuff has been answered by the time you hear this, just ignore it. Or laugh at how wrong we were.
Send us an email to say how wrong we were or how right we were. Very, very quickly, Justin, did you want to go ahead with what you were thinking would happen with the ghoul if he was chipped up?
Yeah, it can be really cool. I just because there's 2 scenarios if somebody gets chipped. I could see that being for Lucy's the ghouls. I could see it being more he comes back to save her his wife and kid, obviously, and then it's put on him, and then he's used. I mean, like that might be the perfect weapon. You know, like a ghoul of his stature that you control.
Yep, basically a robot, a killing machine.
Yeah,
that would be I can see that being a cliffhanger for the end of the season. You know what I mean? Like that would be because that's a big thing. You can't because if the ghoul becomes chipped, then it's not going to be a 1 episode solve or whatever. I feel like okay, well this changes the trajectory on a lot of people's like lives and stuff because then you have to figure out is he gonna get saved, how is he gonna get saved, whatever. I wouldn't mind if it goes that way because I think it would be very interesting to see how it all switches up.
I got a quick question before we fully wrap up. If we think that the ghouls are a byproduct of an early experiment of this forced evolution virus in terms of them being able to heal themselves Wolverine style, do we think that the wife and or daughter are also already ghoul infected but they're in cryostasis?
Cryo?
No.
You think that he took it as the experiment, as the guinea pig, if it was that case?
I also think that the only reason I say no is because I think that you wouldn't inject yourself with something until there's been testing. And if the last testing they would have known about is the monsters up in Anchorage or whatever, like maybe the idea is you cryogenically freeze yourself while they're developing this. And then once it's been developed and tested in the vaults and proven to be viable, then they get unfrozen.
Unfrozen to continue the research or to perfect it, I guess. I'm still also okay.
Once it's proven to work.
Yes. I am also very curious as to the ghoul was like, I've been to wherever he said he's like, I've been to Oregon and somewhere else, found these management vaults, no one was in them.
Mm-hmm.
And he never found one in Vegas, but he knew that there was one there. I'm like, it's a massive one. How did he never see it? Unless it was always behind the gate where the Deathclaws were, which is where... But I think they mentioned that the dad brought the Deathclaws in to protect the entrance to the vault.
And maybe he didn't know that the vault was actually in that building, like in the basement. Maybe he thought it was like the other vaults.
Where you can just see it from the surface. Yeah. But it is curious, like, who's in...
Because remember that one was in the hospital when Lucy and Maximus fell through. That was unexpected.
I wonder who are in these management vaults, though, that, like, are frozen or... Because obviously they have, like, time delays where they open up. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get plenty of these questions answered. If not, none of them, because we've gone way off book, and the showrunners are going this way. And they're like, what are these jokers talking about? They're writing ideas for season 3.
Yeah. That's what we do, though. We make our guesses.
We like to be wrong.
Like We've always liked to be wrong since day dot. So on that note, let's sorry.
That's a perfect execution. Perfect execution of that saying.
It's hard to use sayings like that.
It's
now
forceful.
Now it is my mission to come with a new random thing and just throw it in there. See if you can pick it up where I put it in.
I'm sure we'll pick it up.
You're like, what the hell are you talking about?
We stop every single time.
It's like, what was that?
Yeah, so no emails, hey, boys?
No hate mail for me?
No.
Oh, everyone just loves you.
Yeah, see? It's just you guys that are just ragging on me. With love.
No, people just haven't sent it yet because they're still typing.
It's a really long
letter.
It's a long thing. Continue to join us for the discussions of season 2 of Fallout, and of course, if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, recommendations, etc., can always reach out to us on social media or email us on Gmail, chummythumbs@gmail.com. And am I missing anything?
No, bro. You're crushing it.
Thanks. Well, and we will see you again next week.
I was trying to think of Hayden's third thing he said this episode, and I was gonna see how I could weave it in, but I can't remember what it is now. There's pea soup, day of the dot, day
of the dot,
and then there's a third
the
one.
The boondy.
Oh, it's something to do with cheese. It's fucking
yeah.
Fuck.
The cheese. If you have cheese before bed, expect to have fantastical, magical dreams, or really terrifying.
What did you say? How did you say it? What was the actual saying?
Isn't there a saying?
Nothing. I was just saying, like, you might have just had like a bad bit of cheese before bed.
Might have had too much cheese.
And you guys are like, oh, wait, what? That just like backs you up. Like, no, it gives you weird ass dreams.
I'm gonna try it tonight.
Especially if you're gonna prep your guts tonight, so that tomorrow you're already
exactly.
You can't get any worse.
Nope.
Everybody,
right,
everybody send your well wishes to
anywhere,
Shao's ice cream.
To Shao and his ice cream.
Thanks.
May he share it with many people on camera.
Okay.
At the Super Bowl. I heard it's a Super Bowl commercial.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
It's
all
for
right, until next week.
Keep on thumbing.